You're doing it right now. Not with your hands, not with your actions, with your mouth. Every single day, you hand people the exact tools they need to quietly work against you, and you don't even realize it's happening. I think that's the scariest part. Not that people are bad, but that you're giving them access they never even had to ask for. This video is going to feel personal, almost uncomfortably personal. Because what I'm about to tell you, most people figure out way too late in life. Let's get into it. You know that feeling when you have a new idea, a new goal, a new dream, and the first thing you want to do is tell someone? That feeling is a trap. And I don't say that to be harsh. I say it because I wish someone had told me earlier. Here's what actually happens when you share a goal too soon. Your brain, your own brain, gets a small hit of satisfaction. Just from talking about it, not doing it, just talking. And the moment that satisfaction arrives, your motivation quietly starts to leak. You told your friends you're going to start a business. They said, "Wow, amazing." You smiled. And deep down, something inside you already feels like you've done something, even though you've done nothing. That's not motivation. That's a shortcut that leads nowhere. The most dangerous dreams are the ones that die in conversation. The people who actually build something, you usually don't hear about it until it's already built. So here's the shift. Stop announcing the plan. Start announcing the result. I think a lot of us grew up thinking if I show people how smart I am, they'll respect me more. But you know what actually happens? The moment you start proving your intelligence in every room, people stop seeing you as wise and start seeing you as insecure. Think about it. The person who jumps into every conversation with, "Well, actually, do you trust them more?" Or do you quietly find them exhausting? Real intelligence doesn't need an audience. The sharpest minds I've ever come across, they listen first. They ask one question that cuts deeper than 10 answers ever could. They don't need to win the room. They're already 3 steps ahead while everyone else is still talking. Silence is not emptiness. Sometimes, silence is the most confident thing in the room. When you hold back what you know, you become harder to read. And when you're harder to read, you become harder to underestimate. Every time you over-explain yourself, you're giving someone a map to your weaknesses. Now I want to be careful here, because this is not about hiding pain. This is about choosing who holds it with you. You know that moment when you're going through something heavy, a failure, a heartbreak, a loss, and you just want to say it out loud to anyone who will listen? I get it. The urge is real. But here's what I've seen happen too many times. You share something vulnerable with the wrong person, not because they're evil, just because they weren't ready to hold it carefully. And suddenly, that private pain becomes a story someone else tells about you. And now you're not just carrying the struggle, you're carrying other people's opinions about your struggle. There's a quiet wisdom in learning to sit with difficult things privately, at least for a while. Not because strength means feeling nothing, but because not every wound needs an audience to heal. The right people don't need you to explain your pain. They already show up. Choose those people carefully, then be fully open with them. But the rest of the world, they get the results, not the process. This one is going to make some people uncomfortable. Good. Whether you have a lot of money or very little broadcasting, that information changes how every single person around you behaves, and not always in the ways you expect. Tell someone you're struggling financially, and some people, not all, but some, will quietly adjust how much they trust your judgment, your choices, even your future. Tell someone you're doing well financially, and watch how quickly, "Can you help me with this?" starts appearing in your messages. I think the biggest thing people miss is this. Your financial situation is not your identity. It's not your worth. It's not your story. Money talks when you stay silent about it. Let it. The moment you make your finances part of your personality, either showing off or complaining, you invite complications that have nothing to do with the actual money. Live your life. Let your choices be visible. But keep the numbers private. The person who explains their every move has already lost half the power behind it. You know what's quietly exhausting? The person who helps someone and then makes absolutely sure everyone in the room heard about it. The help was real, but the announcement made it smaller. I think this happens because deep down, a lot of us were never taught that doing right privately is actually more powerful than doing right publicly. We live in a world where everything gets posted, captioned, and announced, and slowly, the act of giving got mixed up with the reward of being seen giving. But here's what I've noticed. The people who are genuinely respected, not liked, not followed, respected, they do things quietly. You only find out about it later. Sometimes, much later. Character is what you do when nobody's clapping. If the only reason you help is because someone might notice, it's not generosity. It's performance. Real generosity doesn't need a spotlight. It feels complete the moment it happens. I want you to think about the last time you had a big plan and told someone before you started. What happened? Maybe they doubted you. Maybe they listed 10 reasons it wouldn't work. Maybe they meant well and still managed to plant a seed of uncertainty that slowed you down. And even if none of that happened, here's the thing nobody talks about. The moment your plan is out there, a part of your brain starts defending it instead of improving it. You stop refining the idea and start protecting the version you already announced. That's a dangerous place to build from. Move first. Explain later. Results are louder than roadmaps anyway. The world doesn't need a preview of what you're building. It needs the finished thing. Stay quiet. Stay focused. And then one day appear with something that makes people wonder how long you've been working on it. The hunt is ruined the moment the hunter announces it. Okay. This is the one that I think lives deepest, and the one most people will recognize in themselves but never say out loud. There's a version of you that has learned, maybe from childhood, maybe from the world, that other people's opinions are a kind of safety. If they approve, you're okay. If they disapprove, something must be wrong. And so quietly, without even deciding to, you start shaping what you say, what you share, how you present yourself, based on what you think will land well. You soften your real opinion. You hesitate before saying the honest thing. You adjust the story depending on who's listening. And none of it is lying. Exactly. It's just leaking. Leaking your need for validation in every sentence. And people feel that. You know how you can sense when someone is saying what they really think versus what they think you want to hear? Other people feel that about you too. The most magnetic people I've ever met all had one thing in common. They were the same person whether you approved of them or not. That's not arrogance. That's the deepest form of self-respect. When you stop needing the room to validate you, you stop accidentally handing the room control over you. This is different from vulnerability. Stay with me. Vulnerability is saying, I'm going through something hard and I trust you with that. What I'm talking about is the habit, and it is a habit of pre-announcing your own weaknesses before anyone even asks. I'm not that smart. I'm bad with money. I always mess things like this up. You say it casually, maybe even jokingly, but somewhere underneath it, you think if you say it first, it hurts less when someone else notices. Here's the problem. The world tends to take you at your word. If you introduce yourself as someone who always fails at things, people don't argue with you. They simply believe you. The story you tell about yourself in public becomes the box people put you in. I'm not saying fake it. I'm saying work on it privately. Heal it quietly. Heal it quietly. Share it selectively only with people who have earned that kind of access through real trust built over real time. Your insecurities are not your identity. Stop handing them out like business cards. Not everyone who asks how you're doing actually wants to know. And that's okay, just stop telling them. I want to leave you with something I think about a lot. Most of us were taught that being open means being strong. That sharing everything means you have nothing to hide. That if you just show people the real you, all of it, all the time, that's where real connection lives. And I think that idea, as well-meaning as it is, has quietly hurt a lot of people. Because here's what I've come to believe. Openness is not about giving everyone everything. It's about giving the right people the right things at the right time. You are not obligated to be fully readable to a world that hasn't earned that. Your dreams, your wounds, your plans, your doubts, these are not public property. They are yours. And what you choose to protect, you also choose to preserve. The strongest version of you is not the loudest version. It's not the most transparent version. It's the version that moves with intention, that speaks carefully, that trusts wisely, that builds quietly, and one day shows the world something it didn't see coming. You know what that kind of person looks like from the outside? Calm, focused, unbothered, not cold, not hiding, just grounded. That's what selective silence builds, not distance, depth. If something in this video made you stop and think, wait, I do that, then this was worth your time. Leave a like if this hit different. Share it with one person who needs to hear it. And subscribe, because what we're building here is not just content, it's a way of thinking. I'll see you in the next one. Stay quiet, stay sharp, and let the work speak.